Hello and welcome to this edition of At the Mic. It's going to be a little different today. Maybe you saw me in the chat. I said, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for the first time in forever. And that's true. And in fact, usually I'm nervous just that things are going to work out in a technical sense. I have nothing but fun with y'all, whether it's a Thursday deep dive where I bring a guest on and we explore a topic, or whether we're just hanging out on Friday. And a full house again expected tomorrow with Brad, Rebecca, and Kelly joining me. And in what I'm doing right now, if I seem distracted, it's because, well, A, I am, and B, because the audio space that I had ready to go, it closed out just as I went to start it. And so bear with me here. Yes, there we go. Let's see here. All right. Skip that. Unmute that microphone. Okay. So there is an audio space. And when I set up an audio space during a live stream, it's an opportunity for you to jump on that and join me over there with any topics, questions, anything. Any. This is when you do it. The audio space is available on X. It may be easier for you while you're getting stuff done to have that available. Oh, and it turns out that YouTube's working today. So that's exciting, huh? I'm just checking to make sure it's still working. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, how neat is that? Okay, so there we go. So it seems like everything that's supposed to be working is working, except for the display on this phone. For some reason, keeps going out. So anyway, if you guys want to chime in, by all means, please do. And the reason that today is different than most days is, well, obviously there's nobody here with me. And also, I don't really have a topic so much as I just thought we would talk. This is almost going to be a glorified Drinks with Keith, where I'll just sit down and pour a drink. I don't have any, I've got plenty. Let me rephrase that. There's plenty of beverage here. I'm just not partaking yet. Don't tempt me. I see a lot of comments already coming through on YouTube, which is exciting. Unfortunately, I'm not a DJ outside of the first 10 minutes there, Kedron Harris. But I've never heard of that song, Buttercup. So I hope that you will DM me a link to check out new music, because I definitely need some new music. But I'm going to tell you how this particular show this week came to be. And I'm sure you're thinking, or no, as Magnum PI used to say, I know what you're thinking. And you're right. No guest wanted to join me today. No. That's part of it, actually. Every time I would have somebody honed in for Thursday, for right now, it would fall through or we have a scheduling conflict. And don't worry, they're all going to be on here at some point, just not today. But then as the news played out in the week and Scott Adams passed away, that really affected me. And I thought, you know what? I could drag Brad in here. We could do a glorified Barfley episode. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, by the way. But no, you know what? We haven't done one of these open phones in a while, which for some reason, as I look over here, the damn screen won't stay on. So I'll have to keep checking this. Again, there's an audio space today on X, if you want to call it. So, and I took some notes here because there are some things that I do want to say. And there's a lot that I have no idea what I'm going to say. And that's why I'm nervous, because I have no idea where this conversation is going to go. You see the title, Life, Death, and Everything in Between. Woohoo, boy, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a party today. Keith's talking about death. This ought to be good. But I just wanted to take a moment because I don't get a lot of these opportunities anymore. The Drinks with Keith thing that I used to do much more frequently, those are impossible anymore. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. Life is crazy, man. Life is absolutely crazy. And you know it as well as I do. I'm just tweeting out right now, live on YouTube today. So there you go, if people want to join over there. But the experience that I live as far as being busy and overwhelmed is not unique to me. And what sucks is that you blink, man, and a lifetime has gone by. And that has really, really hit me. And it started over Christmas break. And it actually started it started a long time ago, but it really came to bear with Brad reached out to me over Christmas, and he said, Adam the Woo died. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had no idea who he was talking about. Adam the Woo. And this Adam the Woo that you probably know about, I'm the last one on many trains. Just a good guy, it seemed. It's just a guy that went and took us along for the ride, took us places. Obviously, I have a lot of catching up to do on what he did, but just seemed like a normal guy who went around America with a camera and just talked to people and had experiences. And it's heartbreaking to go and see these videos, especially his last one, that so many of us have gone and seen since he died on December 22nd. And the last video he posted was on December 21st. And you know, he zooms in on this Grinch doll face on his front patio there. And he signs off and he says, you know, see you next time. And we watch that and we think, dear God, no, we're not going to see you again. This sucks. You're going to sign off here and you're going to go inside that house and you're going to pass away. And it just, I'd never heard of this guy. I didn't know this guy. Just watching these videos and knowing that he passed away, and then watching the video of his dad. His dad did a 30-minute video that posted about a week ago. It's heartbreaking, man. It's just heartbreaking. And then you compound that with Scott Adams succumbing to his prostate cancer. And both of these men were young. Let's see, Adam was 51. Scott Adams was, I think, 68. And that's too young. And the clock's always ticking. This is what sucks. First of all, I hate soccer. Okay? I hate it. There's nothing I like about it. One of the things I really hate about soccer is that you never know how much time is left in the game. There's one guy who knows. It's the ref. It's kind of the ref and God. That's my analogy here. It's like God knows how much time you have left, but you don't. Are we in the third quarter of life? We may be inside the 2-minute warning for all we know. You could be hopping along and hold on a second. An Atlanta Falcons dig is incoming, by the way, my team. My helmet fell on the floor. How appropriate is that? And so you could be hopping along with 17 minutes and 7 seconds left. Well, that's a bad analogy because I'm talking about life. And you could be up 28-3, living high on the hog, and the next thing you know, your world collapses and you die. So well put, Keith. Anyway, thanks again for making time here on the Thursday Deep Dive. There's an audio stream available if you want to. Again, I'm leaving it open. You can talk about anything. You can talk about your own thoughts of this and what you've been feeling, if anything, with the most recent news. And I do want to, there's a couple other people that I do want to get to here in a second, but I haven't had this opportunity. I kind of took it as a sign. I think yesterday afternoon, I reached out to Wes and I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's just going to be me. And here's the title you get to work with, Wes, on your art, which he did a great job. The thumbnail, incredible as always. That canyon and that road up ahead. Wes is awesome. And in fact, let me, here we go. Got to get my computer graphics out for you here. Don't forget you can follow Wes at Second Floor Dallas. He does all of the artwork and all that good stuff and keeps up with the atthemikeshow.com website. And then Gabby runs the Instagram page. Her X handle is Jeffy Apologist. So you may be tuned in right now just to watch me crash and burn, which is fine. I would be doing the same thing, quite honestly. But if you want to talk to me about anything that you've been feeling, because I don't know. It could be just me, y'all. It could be just me with the Scott Adams news really piling on top of the Adam the Woo news. But I want to tell you that over Christmas break, and it was actually Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. In fact, it was during the Lions and Vikings football game. And I still hadn't heard of Adam the Woo or anything like that. But I was watching that game, and I was just sitting there, and I was just thinking, and that's, first of all, that's my first mistake. And I went to Grok, second mistake. And the internet is like fire. It's a tool. You can use it for good or bad purposes. And I just started, honestly, and when the day comes and Grok is hacked and all of our inner thoughts come out, that'll be a fun one to see. No, I just started inputting some stuff, asking it some questions, and honestly, like trying to figure out how feasible. Let me back up. I'm a history geek. I love history. Shout out to Calvin Coolidge. And we're going to add, starting on February 18th, I know I've mentioned it many times, but starting on February 18th, we're going to add a Wednesday show. And don't get too excited, because this is where my brain is. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that Wednesday show. We got the Thursday deep dive. We're diving deep on this today, aren't we? At 3 o'clock Eastern. And then on Friday, we just hang out and try to decompress after a long week. Every week is long now. Have you noticed that? Like in the world or in your own life, it cannot be just me. Every week is a long week. And so just try to chill out every Friday at 3. So I thought to myself, you need another day, because, and don't get me wrong, my day job with Pat Gray Unleashed over on The Blaze, that really scratches the political itch, okay? We talk about current events, news of the day, and we do that every morning before Glenn comes on. And that covers that, okay? So I get my political fix. And then on Thursdays, I do my conspiracy. It's not always conspiracy. I mean, last week we had an Air Force, a fella who did everything in his power to avoid taking the COVID vax, and he stood tall, but boy, he became a target, and his life has been a living hell ever since. So Thursdays, it's all over the map. We can talk about aliens. We can talk about resisting the COVID injection. And next week, oh my gosh, next week I cannot wait for the topic when we're talking about EMFs. Oh yeah, electromagnetic fields. So that's going to be fun. So that's Thursday. So Friday we chill out. Thursday we do a deep dive. So I was like, you know what? I need an outlet for fill in the blank. And so on Wednesdays, it could be anything. It could be a 2-hour show. It could be a 10-minute show. It could be history. It could be geography. No, I don't. Sell it, baby. Sell it, Keith. So we're just, I'm just kind of spitballing on what that's going to be. But that'll start on February 18th on Wednesdays here. But so I'm sitting there over Christmas break, and I'm just trying to think of what can I do with that? What can we do with a Wednesday thing? And hopefully I can get that answered before February 18th. No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun, y'all. Let me just say, I keep hearing the people chiming in. Okay. See, I have to keep unlocking my freaking phone, y'all, if you're listening to the audio space. And so I just want to make sure nobody's got their hand raised over there. So, okay. But I do know that I want the Wednesday thing to be more history focused than I've been able to do on the deep dive, because I concluded wisely that that's where my passion is. It's history, and I want to be able to share more of that with you. And so we'll see what 2026 brings in that realm. So that's where my head was. And then, like I said, I learned about Adam the Woo and then Scott Adams, and now I just feel even more pressed to follow my passion here. Does that make sense? So it's a bunch of things happening at the same time. A confluence, is that a word? I don't know. I'm looking around like Tanner's going to answer me. Sorry. All these things, and it's like I want to talk about history, and so I'm going to. Dang it! Let me catch up on some of these comments here. Hang on. How far do I have to scroll up here? Let's see. If Civil War, God, right? I mean, we're gonna do a Civil War question right off the bat in the chat. I got to scroll up here. WPIT. I don't know. Pitmom. I don't know. If Civil War starts, would love to know where you think the front lines would be. Good Lord, man. You're going to make me start drinking really early in this show today, aren't you? I think the front lines would be, cities. Not the cities, man. I mean, look at your cities now. Let's see here. Tyler says, I think it would be an insurgency with no clear front lines. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, he's right. And Mary loves Calvin Coolidge. What's not to love? Where's not to love? And I don't want to take this picture. See, it says, if you can't see, it's the greatest presidential picture of all time. Oh, I thought it was stuff. Cool. I'm sorry. I love this. It's so hard to find this picture, too. This is Calvin Coolidge reaching off the back of a train, shaking a little boy's hand. Guess he's out campaigning or stuff. I knew the backstory of this, and I forgot what it was. But I just love that so much. Maybe I should memorize that story for a History Wednesday show. History Wednesday. We're going to workshop that one. That title needs some work. Okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was in the comments here before I get back to see what else I wanted to say. History Wednesday. There you go. Ratchet Dawn. Let's see. Of course I'll come and talk to you. I appreciate it. You'll still come and talk to us at the mic. Yes, indeed. And I will say, as weird as this sounds, sitting here like this, where it's just me, a one-man band day, I didn't say Band-Aid. I almost did. But it actually allows me to look at the comments more than when the gang's here, because I'm always looking at them and looking for their reaction and their feedback. And so I apologize when it's crowded and stuff. I don't do as good of a job. And so I need to put one of the crazy kids from Friday on chat duty every time. I think that's what we'll do. Let's see. Hold on. Tyler. The Tyler Morgan Show is his handle. And Tyler does his own thing as well. So you should follow him. Keith, if it makes you feel any better, my wife and I went from having a kiosk to getting her shop into a storefront in the Fort Leonard Wood PX. Hey, look at you. Huh? Nice. Okay. Kiosk, get a shop. Oh, look at that. Okay, so that's awesome, man. That sounds like entrepreneurial spirit. Sometimes when it's a really long word like entrepreneurial, I really have to slow down, and then I end up sounding like Butthead. Sounds like a entrepreneurial spirit or something. Let's see here. Mystery, psycho, and religion. Let's see. I mean, that would fit in on Thursday. If you got any guests or topics, please message me. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, Jeffy apologist. Right before we went live here, I asked her a question here, and there's a lot of texts here, and I'll get back to you. I just haven't had a chance to look at them, so I wasn't ignoring you. See, that's the thing, man. Everyone says get an iPhone, because I think iPhones you can mark your texts as unread, right? But on Android, I can't mark them like if I open them, then it's not. It doesn't show that it's unread. I can't go and mark it unread to remember to go back later. So I just don't touch it, and it still shows it's new. And that first world problems. Hey, how about Verizon though? Huh? That's good. You got phone service today? How much business was lost? They're offering a $20 credit, by the way, if you're a Verizon customer. Now, if you lost a bunch of sales because you had no phone service yesterday when they were when their network was down, that's probably not going to placate you. Let me catch up on some of these here. Yeah, wait, Jeffy, wait till you hear this EMF topic, the specific EMF topic I've got planned for a week from today. This is mind-blowing stuff. Just read. So hold on, you read Annie Jacobson's Phenomena. Used to be my music bed in Charleston. Shout out to 94.3 WSC. Let's see. EMF is suspected as a possible source of ESP and PK. Oh, dang. Okay. All right. Not quite the direction we're going Thursday, but I'll about a bookmark in that. Be sure to message me that to remind me, would you? Oh, goodness. 2025. Dang, what a sucky year for you, Mary. Lost 4 old dogs and a dear friend. I am so sorry. Ugh. Yeah, Tyler, let's have a Shiner Bock. Yeah, I'm actually out of Shiner Bock right now. What's my problem? Shiner, so my family, like the Malinaks, and I'm talking about Nana's husband, Papa, was from Shiner, Texas. Yeah. So for what that's worth, I mean, the Malinaks are connected to Shiner. And I mean, that's where Papa's grandparents settled, came in through Galveston, got the immigration papers and everything. It's awesome. So anyway, Shiner, Malinaks, tied at the hip. Music history. You know what, Stacy? I like that. That's not a bad one. I had a guest lined up, and then I don't know, something came up, and then we never rescheduled. And it's a specific event in music history that this individual is going to, I got to get that rebooked. Let's see here. Type the story and tape it to the back of the picture. Oh, for the Calvin Coolidge thing. You're right. Yes. History Hump Day. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Yeah, Brad. Let's put Brad on comment duty. Remind him tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern when we start up. Just start just peppering the comments. Brad, watch us. Brad, pay attention to us. Brad, just keep an eye on us and stuff. So there we go. Hello, Handika Surman 99. Let's see here. I think I got pretty much everything. Okay. Let me go and check. Don't forget there's an audio space today here on X. Oh my gosh, I have to unlock my phone every time. Normally I do the chat on the old phone. So this is my phone. This is my old phone. And the people on this audio space can always tell when I'm waving the phone around. Sorry, I'll put that back down gently. But the third phone, it froze up. And here we go. And so I powered it off earlier. Let's see if it's working. And it wouldn't do anything. Oh, there we go. Oh, now it's working. Oops. It's not going to work today. So, whatever. So audio spacers, I'll try to keep an eye on you. If you have any comments that you want to share audibly, head over there. So, yeah, I told you about what I want to do now coming up starting February 18th. And the short answer is I have no idea. Just please be here for it. That would mean a lot. And let me do this here. Hang on. Let me go over here to the old X feed and redo that. Where's that? There we go. Okay. Okay. Some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. You know what I actually should do right now before I forget, since I mentioned Scott Adams. All of his, a lot of his clips that were circulating after his death, there were really good ones in there. And let me see if I can. Here we go. Yep. So if you've already watched Pat Unleashed the other day, I brought this to the show over there. I don't know. I just love this because, again, all of this stuff that I've been experiencing in the last few weeks here, it's just weird. I know. It just kind of all comes together. But when I watched this video the day that Scott Adams died, my brain didn't see the word lazy so much as I applied fear. And so the title of this video that this individual posted, Reads with Robbie, he says, this video by Scott Adams will rewire your brain to never feel lazy again. Excellent insight. And you know what I actually did? The way I watched this, and you're welcome to watch it with the word lazy in mind as it was intended by Scott Adams. Or what I did is I really substituted the word lazy for, I put fear in there. This video by Scott Adams will rewire your brain to never fear again. Excellent insight. So that's how that's what I took away from this video. So when he talks about lazy, I hear the word fear, especially as it pertains to February 18th, right? And what the hell am I going to do? No, here we go.
What if laziness is a habit of thinking about the cost of things or the effort instead of thinking about the payoff?
Oh, fear.
I'm going to say it again. Get a few more heads to explode. What if laziness is nothing but a habit of thinking about the effort instead of thinking about the outcome? What if you could reverse laziness by simply developing a habit of thinking more about the, let's say, the delicious food that you would like to enjoy instead of how long it would take you to get up and go get it? But the real question is, if you were to test this at home and try to see if you can think more about the good outcome and less about the work, would you get it done? Why is it that people have a second child? Why does a woman who goes through this awful, awful childbirth have a second child? Don't they always say the same thing? If I remembered how bad this was, I wouldn't do it again. Right? So the not thinking about the effort is vital to actually the survival of humanity. If we focused on how hard it was to have a baby, you just wouldn't do it, or you do too little of it. But if you focus on how awesome it would be to have a family, well, there you go. You're going to go through the pain because you've already committed. Am I ambitious, or do I simply have a thinking habit which produces dopamine because I'm thinking about the positive outcome? And is the dopamine the thing that gets me up and moving? And when you're observing me, you say, how the hell do you get so much done? And how do I do it? I think it's just this. When I think of all the things I do, I think about them in terms of their benefits. So
there you go. Yeah, and he goes on to say, think about the positive, not about the work, and see what that does to you. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a female's birthing experience, but shout out to all the ladies that have gone through that. Let me catch up on some of these, and then I got some more thoughts I want to share with you. You know what, Stacy? I don't know if I reached out to John Rocker. I sure should have. We could reminisce about the Braves in the 90s. That's for sure. I know I follow him on Twitter. That's for sure. And I didn't see the video. I saw that he showed up, I think, in a Minnesota daycare, but I don't know anything beyond that. So I'm sure that's entertaining. Let's see here. Oh, my goodness. No, too much pressure, Jeffy apologist. I'll tune in with my homeschool kids on Wednesdays for History with Mr. Malinak. No, here's what you do. You turn your kids loose on just doing stuff for the At the Mike Show Instagram page. Jeffy apologist. How about that? And then that's less for you to worry about. I know it's a labor of love for you, and I'm so grateful for all of your time in there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at these book titles. Okay, there's a private conversation there going back. Sorry. Yeah. Yep, good insight from Scott Adams that we'll miss. My goodness. So, but he was talking about laziness, and I, of course, interpreted it as fear. And bear with me here. Unlock the stupid phone. There we go. Okay. Audio space is available. If you want to reach out over there, raise your hand about anything you want to talk about. But I have had an obsession with death for, good grief, forever. I don't know, man. It's unhealthy. It could be connected to the fact that I was raised Southern Baptist. Eternal damnation and fire, and all that good stuff, right? So that might have something to do with it. And it just kind of just puts this whole this Wednesday project in my head. Ooh, the Wednesday project. You like that? These are two separate topics here in my brain, my very cluttered brain at the same time here. My unhealthy obsession with death and me feeling like you have no idea how much time is left on the clock. Soccer ref. God is a soccer ref. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, and he gives you yellow cards and red cards. There's something here, y'all. God is a soccer ref. Huh. All right, Wes, I'm going to need a picture of God, I guess, with the, long white hair or something, but he's in a referee's outfit. He's holding up a yellow card. He's pointing his finger. I don't know. Oh, you don't want to get the red card from God because then he'll point down. See that? So red card from God, he's telling you, enjoy hell. Yellow card, he's just like, I'm keeping my eye on you. I'm sorry. I have issues. Which drink should I open? What do we have here? Oh, you know what I didn't get to play with on Friday is this right here. This is the most annoying bottle, and it was sent as a gift, and I'm grateful for that, so I'm not complaining. But let me show you this. This is, I haven't had this in forever. It's called Ocean Organic Vodka. See that? Look at that. It's a 40% alcohol, 80 proof. See that? That's a fun little label there, and then you turn it around, and it's like so. And it looks kind of cool, right? It looks like a giant perfume bottle from the 60s. You might see what's her name? Elizabeth, what is my problem? You can see her dancing around a set or something with this. I have not had a sip of alcohol, and I can't remember her last name. What is my problem? So you see how this is sitting flat here? I know somebody's going to put it in the chat. Come on now. Somebody do my job for me. Oh, T Carr, Ghost Hunter. Oh, Tom Carr. Oh, he's been a guest several times here. That was him over on YouTube. Good. Thank you for jumping on both of those. Appreciate that a lot. So you see how the bottle is leaning? It's kind of messing with your mind, right? See how it's flat down there? And like every time I go to sit that on a table, it's like I feel retarded because I try to sit it down like a normal, and then it like leans forward and stuff like a weeble wobble thingy. Anyway, yeah, I'll have some of that. Yep, I think so. Okay. No, not Elizabeth Taylor. Thank you, Lynn. See, Lynn's awesome. Lynn's got all the references. I don't know why my brain could not remember Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, that's who's Liz Taylor. That's why I screwed it up. Liz Taylor is much more. Anyway, enough of that. All right, let me have some of this here. This is my Connell's mug. You guys give the greatest gifts. You know what? This is an incredible album. You should check it out. Connell's Ring album. Boy, it's good. It's good. But don't listen to it right now. Like you wait until later. And then you listen to the Connell's Ring album. And if you listen to that album, you will agree with me, just based on that album alone, that the Connells definitely deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cheers to that. That's good. That's good. You know, it's organic. So that's good. All right, where was I? Oh, let me check. See, I gotta do this like routine. I gotta check just to make sure no one's over there. Okay. All right. Just checking. Whew. And we don't have to talk about death, y'all. But I do want to point this out because again, it's been on my mind. And I want to bring someone to your attention that I think is an awesome person. And there he is. And he may be watching right now. I don't know. But it's Ben Steiner. And Ben Steiner is right up there. If I have to answer the question, who's your number one fan? And this guy would definitely be in the running. As you can see, he's even wearing my atthemikeshow.com hat, which I owe you guys giveaways. You incredible subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing for $2 a month to my X feed. If for nothing else, for the chance to win a winter cap. And so help me. It's we're getting into winter, Keith, and you owe one for December and January. So I apologize, y'all. I got to spin that wheel or do something. That stupid website that does the little wheel spin, it's tough to, because then I have to type in everybody's name and it's a disaster. But I should only let people on the East Coast, because only the East Coasters are having a winter this year. Anyway, I digress. I want to point out Ben Steiner. The guy, he told me, he waited to go public with what he was going through, and as you can see, this is his post here at Ben Steiner first. If you want to follow him, just Ben, you're a great guy. Everyone, I just want to give all my followers a little update on where I've been lately. As many of you know, I've been fighting a pretty serious health condition for several years now. I just wanted to let you know today that the condition I've been struggling with is stage 4 esophageal cancer. And I'm entering year 8 of this fight. There's not anything more, unfortunately, that can be done for me treatment-wise anymore, but that's part of life when it comes to these things. I appreciate your continued prayers and support, and every one of them is a reminder of how good people are on here. I plan to spend a little more time in 2026 doing a little more outside of X. Completely understandable, Ben. But I will still be keeping an eye on my account, posting occasionally. Thank you, everyone, for being so awesome to me. Please be patient. These analog memes are tricky to get posted. So there he is. If you want to follow along, Ben Steiner first. Truly one of the good people on X, and please keep him in your prayers. My dad died of esophageal cancer. And in fact, I'll let you in on a little behind the scenes here. Boy, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it was February 5th, 2017, when he actually told me it's terminal. They can't do anything more for me. And it was during the, I don't think I've ever mentioned this. It was during the starting lineups were being announced for the Super Bowl. The Falcons 28-3. So by the end of that game, I honestly didn't even care. I knew they would never win the Super Bowl, but I remember him on the phone and me looking at the TV, seeing Matt Ryan coming out of the tunnel. And anyhow, February 5th, 2017, fun day. But please, please keep Ben in your prayers. The fact that he has fought this for so long, and actually, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it gives me hope. I'm sorry, Ben. You're such a fighter, man. Goodness. I mean, you keep going. You keep going, bro, please. Super guy, and could easily hold the title as biggest fan of At the Mic and all the stuff that I do on here. And I'm just so grateful for you, Ben. You're a friend, buddy. So thank you for sharing this so that we could know to pray for you. I told you guys it was going to be kind of heavy today. I've told you how I lost a couple Christmases ago a close friend of mine, and there's a post, and maybe I'll repost it. I don't know, because chances are you're not familiar with it, but someone that was very instrumental in my early radio days, Ian Punnett, and he died just before Christmas a couple of years ago. And I posted on X how he and I hadn't spoken in years. I mean, I've driven up to Kansas to stay at his place. He was the first real producing job that I had out of college in the 90s. And he and I stayed in touch ever since. And then there was a Twitter war, It doesn't even matter what it was about. I remember what it was about, but for the purpose of this discussion, it doesn't matter. And neither of us would give on the issue. But it's stupid. In hindsight, stupid. Absolutely stupid. And it was to the point where we would leave each other voicemails. And it's just like, you know what? At some point, I was just like, screw this. I'm done. I'm not having this conversation. And turns out we didn't have any more conversations. And when he died, we hadn't spoken in years. And I'm not John Adams, and I'm not Thomas Jefferson. But thank God that those two American giants had a mutual friend in Dr. Benjamin Rush, who made sure that those two stayed in touch and corresponded. So as bitter as things got between them, hell, it was a nasty presidential campaign. But Benjamin Rush made sure that those two were back on speaking terms and exchanged letters that are American treasures. I have an entire book sitting on a shelf over here of their correspondence, and it's invaluable. And thank God that those two began writing each other, because if they had stayed mad, so I guess you never know. I said it earlier. You don't know. I'm going to be 50 this year. I don't know if I'm in the third quarter of life. I don't know if I'm inside the 2-minute warning of life. I have no idea, but I want to make it count. And I've got things I want to do, and I've got passions that I want to pursue. And it's now or never, because that's the thing. It's like your body's not, spoiler alert, your body not the same later in life as in earlier. This isn't the second quarter of life. The fourth quarter and the second quarter are different animals. Okay. So take advantage of the time while you have it. If you're young, if you're young right now, please let this be a warning. Think about that video earlier that we played to Scott Adams. I hope you're afraid of not doing the thing that you want to do, and do it earlier than the rest of us have done it, if we do it at all. So that's my, not nearly as eloquent as Scott Adams, but yeah, there we go. There's the audio space if you want to chime in and save me from myself today. There's another death in my world that I want to tell you about, and this is going to lead to an important point. I'm not here trying to just let's be depressing, but I want to encourage you. See, two of my closest friends in my life I've met as a call screener for Glenn Beck. One has passed, who I'm about to tell you about. Just lost her in December. And the other is in my fantasy football league. I've been the commissioner of a fantasy football league since 1999. And this guy joined around, 2010 or so. Shout out to Michael. Okay. But I did meet, as Glenn's call screener, a lot of interesting people, very interesting people. And one of them was a lady. I tweeted about this late last year. Her name is Donna. And Donna Colliard, her hobby was genealogy. And boy, she loved to dig into people's backgrounds for them. And when I texted her, tell me I'm not the only person that's done this. I reached out to her for her birthday and wished her a happy birthday, as I do every year. And I didn't hear back. And Donna was one of those people who were quick to text back. Now, she lived in California, so if it was early in the day, you might give it, certainly within a couple hours, I'm going to hear it back. And then if it is her birthday, and maybe she's busy, right? And then a time just ticks on. And I know that she had talked to me about her overcoming cancer, and the prognosis looked really good for her. But as that afternoon started to catch up, I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to Google her name. And I'm going to Google the word obituary. What a sinking feeling when it comes back and you're like, dear God, yep. So, in fact, I think I waited several days, but it occurred to me on her birthday, and I resisted for a little bit, maybe a week, I guess. And then when I did, sure enough. So, I just want to make the point that we absolutely do not know. We have no idea. Charlie Kirk, 31 years old. I mean, that guy's had more of an impact in his 31 years on Earth than I could have in 30 of these lifetimes. So use your time wisely and pursue your passions, I guess, is what I'm going to keep bringing this back to. But one of the cool things, and this is where I really started to type out some notes to make sure I didn't forget anything. She did so much genealogy work for me and my family. And tell you, stuff that I would have gone to my grave having no clue about. And I'm not talking about a saliva swab 23andMe. Congratulations. God only knows where your DNA is now. Sorry. I'm talking about not just saying, hey, I'm this much Dutch, I'm this much British, whatever. This woman was a godsend. And in fact, there is in my garage a Rubbermaid bin. The biggest Rubbermaid bin you can imagine is absolutely packed to the brim with genealogy stuff for me and Carrie and the kids. It's overwhelming. There's so much. It's going to be a future generation that's going to be digging through there, or maybe my kids one day and going, oh my gosh, we had all of this binders. And there's this one thing that I'm in a room over the garage right now. That's where I broadcast from. A lot of people think that I broadcast from the inside of a whale that eats office supplies. But no, so just imagine a garage and you unfurl this banner, I guess, like this homecoming banner. I don't know, it's probably 5 feet high and then probably 60 feet long of this. I mean, just incredible stuff that Donna did for our family. And I made some notes here because I didn't want to forget any of this stuff. Because this stuff that I'm about to read to you, this stuff is in your family too. I guarantee you. Now, I don't know how to suggest you go about this because Donna would find, she would find church records. Like, oh, look at this. You had your great uncle apparently was a deacon at some whatever. And see, here's his name at or they visit. This is the thing. This is why I sign the books at every national park I go to, every roadside museum I stop at. Put your name in there because 100 years from now, you're going to have someone in your family is going to find that. I don't know how. I don't know. They're going to have a Donna Couillard in their life. I don't know. But somebody's going to find this information and go, oh my gosh, look at this. They went to Mount Rushmore in 2026. How cool is that? Before the communists took over and blew it up. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so know your family history. Because of Donna, where did I put this? I put these notes. My kids know that they are related to, and I mean, this is cool stuff, the Pony Express, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. There is a preacher who stood up against the Salem witch trial nonsense. And this is Carrie's 7th great-grandfather. which she's a pastor, so that really, hits home with her. So that's pretty cool. But I want to go back to that Revolutionary War thing. Captain Stephen Goodrich. Now, if we went to the Library of Congress, can we, as the family, ask for the original copy of this order that was signed? Because you remember, the president of the Congress, it was rotated every year. So technically, George Washington, I think, is like the 13th president, if you want to get technical. Please don't. But check this out. At the time when Stephen Goodrich was elevated to the role of captain, and I won't read this whole thing to you, but in the Continental Army, Captain Stephen Goodrich, it was signed by, who signed that? Oh, look at that. Who was the president at the time? John Hancock. How cool is that, huh? I think that's pretty awesome. So we've got a copy of that. This stuff is out there, and it's got your family ancestors on it, and I would encourage you to find out. Or, like I said, find a Donna Colyard in your life to do the work for you. I'm so sad that she is no longer among us, because she has the most giving heart. So just, and oh my gosh, she would always send the kids birthday cards. I mean, just a wonderful woman. So please learn your family history. Please do what you can. And this stuff takes time, man. I mean, this goes back to the whole follow your passion thing. Well, I'd like to follow my passion, but you know what? I got commitments. I got time. I don't have the money to follow my passions. My head today, specifically today, I have not stopped moving today. And as I'm getting into this point of my conversation, you're going to hear Coffee McCofferson over here, Tanner, who, thank you for caring about Tanner. Oh, that's the thing, man. There are so much good in this world. There's so much good in this world. Going back to the vet on Friday or Saturday morning, I think we're going to get a final answer on this. We're doing a surgery. Is it possible to drain that thing? I'm staring at that damn lump right now. He's got so much spunk in him. He's 13 and a half years old, but the dog picks up his toy, and I don't even want to say the actual word that we use around here, because then he's going to come over here and put his head in my lap with said toy. See, I can say toy because that doesn't mean anything to him. But I don't know how much. Well, it's already been estimated at $12,000, I think it was. But we're holding off on that. A lot of you have suggested a GoFundMe for that, or a Gibson Go. I'm not going to solicit. I'm not going to put that out there unless that turns out to be the answer. But y'all have sent already enough just through my Venmo and my Buy Me a Coffee link, whatever, on my X banner, to cover two of these vet. And you guys know this is not cheap stuff. And I'm just, thank you. Thank you so much, every one of you. I don't care if you said, here's $1, and some of you gave $100. I mean, more than that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just am. This is the thing. This world sucks, man. And there's a lot of evil, and there's a lot of bad stuff in it. But boy, there's a lot of good too. And it is so hard for my brain to reconcile those two things. Oh, yeah. This is a fun fact that Donna found. I forgot to read this to you. Listen to this. This is wild. Oh, hang on a second. I haven't checked the old audio space here. Let me just make sure nobody's hands raised over there. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. Okay, good. Just listeners. Got it. Okay, good. Okay, so one of the things that Donna found out, you're going to love this. I love this. Well, hold on. It includes the slaughtering of children. Maybe that was a bad setup. So, and like the whole, what was it called? The something mountains or what have you. Germany, Czechville, right in there. My ancestors lived, and I guess they had the equivalent of like a census, and it showed up, every year or whatever, 10 years, whatever the hell it was. And so she found this old document that showed it was a husband and wife, and they had 13 kids or something like that. I forget. And then I think the next year or whatever it was, this is bad. They disappeared. So the mom and dad were gone, and 12 of the 13 kids were gone. I forget all the details of this, but it was pretty clear what had happened if you line that up with what had happened in history at that time. So the Catholics came into Protestantville, and they said they slaughtered. I mean, it was a genocide. But apparently, if you were a baby, they would just basically claim you for the Catholic Church, and then you would be raised Catholic. So that's apparently what happened to my ancestors in like the 1300s or 1400s, something like that. Just brutal. Well, the fun thing is, and if you know my Nana on here, I talk about post pictures of Nana. Let's put a pin in that for a moment. From the 1300s all the way through Papa, they're in Shiner, Texas. Catholics, after that Catholic slaughter of the Protestants, okay, in Czechoslovakia or what have you. Then Nana comes along, marries Papa. Well, she's Southern Baptist. And then that lasted a couple of generations, and now I think I'm Lutheran. So I don't know. But that's how Papa was Catholic, is from the 700 years or so previous of marching into a town. And I'm telling you, history is so fascinating, y'all. And I hope that you can learn a whole bunch of yours. Just looking here. Anything else I really want to mention to you? I mean, I'll say that, I talked about, you just don't know how much time you have left. And one thing I will say is that your body, it tries to warn you. And I don't hesitate to mention this. Let me put it this way. I don't think waking up at 3 a.m. for my day job with Pat Gray Unleashed over at The Blaze does me any favors. But if you recall, I've mentioned a couple times now, these pounding headaches on the right side of my brain and my head. But it's good news. It's good news. Because it started in late 2024. And I remember, I think it was the second time that it happened. I was on a hunting trip, and I couldn't even, I was miserable, man. And I just remember that. And that's happened a handful of times since then. But so what I'm saying is, I'm saying this as a hypocrite. Get checked. Your body's not going to lie to you, man. It could save your life if you get this checked out. Now, I want to follow that up by saying, I've mentioned it, but I haven't. Did I do a brain scan? I can't even remember. I haven't had none of those kind of headaches, right? I haven't had it in probably 6 months. Okay. So I just wanted to say that I don't have any fears up here anymore. Now, you can roll this tape back if I get an aneurysm on this side of my brain and die coming up here. You're like, that dumbass. But he did say, you hadn't had anything for at least 6 months. So I think we're fine there. But so don't take my advice on being a hypocrite, but do take my advice that if your body is telling you something, please get checked out, because you never know. Or just continue to ignore it the way I did. Now, I felt like I got a scan of some. Yeah, I did. Right? I got a scan, and doctor probably said, you barely have a brain, but it seems to be okay. No, I'm pretty sure I got that scan. And anyway, whatever. I'll have to go and check. I can't remember. My ass gets scanned for everything. Well, not my ass, but generally speaking, I get so many injuries. I think they're all from playing softball recklessly. Honestly, I think that it's honestly my problem. Let me just catch up on some of these. 14-year-old bottle of Crystal Head vodka that is still sealed. wife got for me when Dan Aykroyd did a bottle signing at Fort Knox. Oh, nice. Oh, my gosh. That's a topic we have to talk about. In fact, Pat brought that up with Brad Meltzer today. I think Brad Meltzer probably had the best, maybe the most accurate take of them all when he said today on Pat Gray Unleashed over on The Blaze. Because Pat asked him, do you think the gold's still there? And Brad said, I think it's been used to pay off countries that loaned us money, that we borrowed money from. And then maybe they put some of it back, maybe they didn't. So he thinks that the way I understood him to say it, and you can go listen to the last 15 minutes of today's show, that I think a lot of the gold is there. I think that's how I walked away from this. Maybe not all of it. But boy, that audit talk really got quiet, didn't it? I feel like somebody pulled the president aside or Elon Musk aside, and they were like, shh, you want this country to collapse? Tell the world we have no gold. Let's see here. Yes, I love seeing the prayers for Ben Steiner. Yeah. Yeah, Doc Thompson. Again, man. God. That's another February 5th. I'm telling you, February 5th. Way down on the list, yes, but it's that Falcons Super Bowl. But the same day my dad told me that he was about to die of cancer, and look that up. Somebody look up Doc Thompson. I think that's February 5th. That's just been a bad day. I think it was February 5th, 2019. I'll let y'all look that up for me. Just trying to catch up here. I'm sorry that you lost your cousin Sally, Tyler. Gosh, oh, yes, she's a hero. Yeah, she survived a Japanese prison camp in the Philippines. Yes, I hope at Fake Tyler Morgan, I hope that you will post the interviews that she did. She's fun. She talks about being rescued. That's good stuff. No, I'm not part Dutch. I'm not. I just threw that out there as like maybe you're part Dutch, maybe you're part British. No, I'm not. What am I? I'm a mutt, that's for sure. German, Czech, some British, I think. A lot of redneck. A lot of that happening. Yeah. Anyway. Wait, see, I love it when I see these. And then, great idea. And then I'm like, what time was that set? What was I talking about at that point in time? So I don't know. What is this here? I'd love to get the records of the 8th Field Radio Research Station from Phu Bai, Vietnam. Phu Bai. Would love to know more about what my dad and his twin brother did over there. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that we have at our disposal is the internet. There's a lot of information on there, and I hope that you can find it as it pertains to your family and your history and anything that you're interested in, quite frankly. Some fun stuff here. Wait, what's there? Where's the area where Keith Math resides? What did I do? Sorry. See, I hate seeing these when it's too late. I apologize, y'all. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is going to be a little depressing, but I want to make a book recommendation. So book club time, if you don't mind. Are you familiar with Viktor Frankl's A Man's Search for Meaning? It's a powerful book. Yeah, because he survived a Nazi prison camp. He writes about it, and it's very powerful. I would say that the modern version of that, surprise, someone else that we lost recently, I guess it's been a few years maybe, is David Horowitz. And he wrote a book that I think is equally powerful to Viktor Frankl's. And it's kind of like a modern version of that book, A Man's Search for Meaning. And it's called A Point in Time. And the subtext is the search for redemption in this life and the next. And I love walking away from a movie or a book, and I'm still thinking about it years later, you know? And it'll come up just at the most quiet times. somehow stuff that was written about in it, you'll find yourself ruminating on that. And I printed up some quotes from the book, and now I don't even know that I want to. I just kind of want you to discover it for yourself. I'm just seeing if I even want to read any of these. Let me read this little quote from the book about dogs. As though life were an endless horizon always met for the first time, they do not contend with their fates, but devour them as if their days will go on forever. Is that true? Huh. Looking at a dog who spends a lot of time sleeping over there. Of course, Matilda, I mean, she's 9.5 years old. She's been doing that since she was a puppy. I mean, that's literally, we should change her name to Sleepy. That's literally all she does. Yeah, I don't know that I want to. I feel differently today than I did yesterday when I typed these up here. Goodness, I would recommend that book, but understand, it's kind of like listening to an album by The National. I mean, it's beautiful, and the songs are so just works of art. But I just say don't drink alone while listening to The National. Let's put it that way. Yeah, but I would recommend that. It's a deep book, man. But it's not that big. See that? But I'm trying to think how to sell this. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Just read it. That's all I would say. Just read it. Let's see here. I don't know what else I have for you. Like I said, from the very beginning of this, we're just hanging out, and I will talk about anything with you. Just let me know what's on your mind. Oh, I got to check the audio space to make sure. Tomorrow is going to be a lot more the opposite of this. Like I said, it's a full house. We're going to have Brad. We're going to have Rebecca. We're going to have Kelly here. And I have got a lot of videos, a lot of good, lighthearted stuff to go over. And the Thursday deep dive will get back to topics, not just my ramblings, as soon as next week. And so, you know what? I had a cheat sheet. Where did I put that? Okay. Hold on a second. No, this needs to be explored, y'all. Let me get this thought out, if possible. I contend that, I haven't had more than, I think my maximum 4.5 hours of sleep since the new year started in any given night. I have not put my finger on, you guys know this. I talk about this ad nauseum. I always have trouble sleeping. I could get into multiple reasons why, but I'll spare you. But the last couple of weeks have been some of the most intense stretch of non-sleeping. And it's because, this happens every Christmas break. We wake up at 3 a.m. and then you have 2 weeks during Christmas and you can sleep normally. And then you get back on that schedule. But it's been really thrown off because of staying up too late for various reasons, or falling asleep and sleeping really well for like 2 hours and then waking up. You get that? You wake up and you're like, and this should be, normal people would sleep for 2 hours and think, wow, I've been asleep for a long time. And then you look at the clock and you're like, whoa, it's still early. I got forever. That's a great feeling. However, if you do that and then you end up laying awake for the rest of the night, it really sucks. And then you just get up and go to work, whatever. So I have not been sleeping at all. But what I think is the most intense issue in my life, and I'm looking around the room as I say this, is usually those 2 weeks that we get off at Christmas. Yes, I know it's a lot, and I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. But I have every year been able to use that time to catch up on everything. Organization, fill in the blank. That is, I'm in September and October, and I'm like, you know what? If I don't get to this, I still have the end of the year. I got that grace period, and the to-do list got longer and longer and longer as I approached the get this stuff done. During the end of the year. The problem is this year, that list actually ended up longer at the end of those 2 weeks than when it began. And again, I'm going to spare you every last detail of my life and just give you 90% of the details of my life. But let's just say that we all have commitments and we all have stressors pulling on us and things that take our time and take our energy. And it's just reality. But it was so frustrating to head back to work and go, well, I got absolutely nothing accomplished that I wanted to get done during Christmas. No, I was too busy sitting around making more work for myself. If you'll recall earlier when I was talking about that Vikings-Lions game and sitting there thinking, you know what? Let's give myself more to do. So hang on, I'm going to catch up on some of these comments. Give me a second here. But I sit here and I'm looking in this room that I have absolutely, I mean, this is evidence right here. I've absolutely destroyed it. And it's just, there's stacks. There's this stack, stack on the floor, another stack on the floor. What I need to do is I need to put like a damn Post-it note on the top page just so I remember what the hell that stack is separated from that other stack from. And that is, I've overwhelmed myself because, as I have said, and this is the most accurate thing that you will ever hear me say in front of this microphone, is that I am, without a doubt, the most unorganized person that you will ever meet. And it's depressing as hell. And then you never catch up. You never get to these stacks. You never get to them. And then I take that back. Eventually you'll get to them. But you know how you get to them? You're like, hell, I don't know. And you just pick up the whole thing and you chuck it in the garbage. And here's the thing about that is that on the rare occasions that I do that, I never find myself sitting around going, oh, where's that one piece of paper that I printed up and then I put in the stack and I never got to it? Oh, it's in a landfill somewhere. I should have never put it in the stack to begin with. Oh, this feels like a Seinfeld episode. There's something there, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway. Hang on a second. I haven't done an audio space check in a while. How y'all doing over there? Everybody happy? All right, all listeners. Hi, Toby. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Elizabeth. So if you want to chime in on anything over there. Oh, that's right. I had to catch up on the isn't that, see, you guys make references and then I don't know where I was. Sorry. But you say, seems like that's a thing there. Okay. Jeffy should be back Monday, y'all. That's somebody who needs your prayers too. Big man's in a lot of pain right now. Yep. Let me see here. Just catching up here. Yeah, you're live in real time, Rich. Don't get used to it. It's hit and miss. That's why I don't promote live on YouTube. Because, hey, I'm sorry. I was looking at the thing here. How about this guy right here, huh? How about that Connor McDavid point streak? Just saying. Look that up. 99.9% of the people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Let's see here. But watch the world come to an end. Watching the world come to an end might be keeping you awake. Yeah, I have found myself for the last couple of weeks definitely checking for updates on big stories in the news in the middle of the night. A lot going on there, that's for sure. Let's see. Yeah, that'll keep you up, right? Your son being in the Air Force. Yeah. Not shipped off yet. But it's rapidly approaching. So yeah, dear God, I will never sleep again. Could be fighting in Greenland in a month. Words you never thought you'd hear yourself say. I don't know. I could get shipped off to Greenland to fight, Dad. I don't know. Let's see here. All right. If anybody has, if we're done, I don't really have much else to say here. I know it's kind of been a pretty heavy day. Do pray for all of those that are suffering, and especially Ben Steiner with his battle. I really hope some miracle happens there. And thank y'all for listening to me babble, as you often do. Yeah. Sorry I didn't have a guest for you. No, we needed this. We needed a hangout. We haven't done this in a long time. And like I said, it's been a while. I'm just sorry it was so depressing. I would recommend the book, A Point in Time, by David Horowitz. This is a good sit by the fire and drink book, actually. That's what I would say. But it's not going to win any comedy awards. I'll tell you that. So get ready for a very deep book. Let's see. Hold on. Let me just read this real quick. Andrew Clavin called it a beautiful book. Norman, don't know how to pronounce that. As moving as it is profound. Yeah. Walter Isaacson chimed in. Yeah. Okay. So those little those little things I've read there, there's a lot bigger chunks of what they said on the back here. But Dennis Prager said, I have admired David Horowitz for decades. He has taught me many important lessons, but never have I been so moved by his writing as I am by this brief and profound book. Walter Isaacson said, emulating Marcus Aurelius, David Horowitz has produced a meditation on facing death that is poignant and wise. Whether invoking the Stoics or reflecting on his own father, he helps us think through that most basic of all questions. What is it that can give meaning to our existence? I'm glad I read that. That articulated what I was incapable of doing earlier. Yeah. And for the death obsessed like me, it's the perfect book to dig that hole deeper. Anyway, thanks for hanging out here. We'll be back 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and we'll have some fun. I promise. Like I said, full house with Brad, Rebecca, and Kelly all here. Which reminds me, I should probably stop this live stream right now before I forget to send the live stream link to all three of them. And I am grateful for the Friday outlet, and I'm grateful for all three of those people. And I'm grateful for you and just you hanging out here with us whenever you get the chance, because your presence and your input and your feedback are very important to me. And thank you for taking the time, and thank you for listening to me. And let's, I guess, in this crumbling, failing, dark world, let's do our best to find the good in it, because it is out there, and you guys demonstrate that. You demonstrate it. You do. And I thank you. I'm just being there. Thank you. I'm personally very grateful for your presence, all of you. And one last thing I'll say is, if you do have someone in your life that maybe you aren't getting along with, that you know you should be, or that the line of communication is down, repair that, reestablish